And welcome. Did we take a second to get our lives together this morning? Yes, but it's Monday. Thank you. Did you take a second to get your life together this morning? You probably did too. Welcome to Monday. It's the Right Side. I am Amy Beth Shaver with Allison Sinclair and JP, hoping you had a snake-free, delightful, you didn't forget to bake the communion bread weekend.
Wait.
It's going to hell.
I am.
Wait.
Abs.
Really?
Yeah.
What happened?
So that's never happened to me before.
You
But-
had one job.
One job.
Okay, was there just no communion?
No, we had communion bread because our
Did you go
man
to
who's in charge
Publix?
of it is awesome. So there is a loaf at Publix that we use.
Oh, abs.
And I wrote down early in the summer all the weekends that we bake our bread at our church. Okay, guys, that's what we do. And the recipe is yummy. I have served it to them and they don't know that it's also our communion bread. I have. But this weekend,
Oh, abs.
and it's not enough time to make it at home. Okay, it's not. If it had been an hour earlier, could have done it. Nope. At 9:24, my friend was like, "Hey, are you bringing it with? Because you have to have it there at 9:30 if you're bringing it the morning of." And I just went,
What did you do?
I said, "I am so sorry. I forgot."
You know how many sins were not forgiven
So many sins.
because you didn't bake the bread?
It was such a giant fail. I was so embarrassed. And yet the men at our church, the ones that I know are awesome humans. And they're like, "No, really, it's okay." Because we're across the street from Publix and literally across the street. So he jetted across and came back in 15 minutes later. And right as the time I was dragging myself in thinking, "Oh, shame. Like, Chris Shaver, how can you even walk into church with me? Like, I forgot my one job. I forgot. It didn't make it to the calendar of events." And so I'm so embarrassed. But guys, I want to tell you that Publix was our communion bread yesterday.
Abs. If you had been assigned wine, you would have remembered it.
I would have. I had 2 bottles, but really we used more than that.
You just.
I failed. I had an epic church lady fail.
I could see Chris like making sure to walk in different from you, being like,
He
"Did you
did.
hear about
Yeah.
the lady that forgot the bread this morning?"
She is a loser. She just didn't even think about using her gifts and talents this weekend at all for the kingdom. Oh, no. No. They went and bought bread at Publix. My fault. So I also told one of the other guys, again, they're awesome humans. They're like, "No, really, it's okay." And I'm like, "No, it's not okay. This is a blight." I don't even, I don't know. I haven't decided if I'm just going to, I think I'm going to make extra bread for that next church lady who forgets, but it's probably only people like me who forget.
You could probably keep it in the freezer.
You can. And I've done that in the past where I leave extra loaves for people. So I feel like that kind of made up for it. Because there was
Not
one
really.
weekend I was not on the schedule and I knew that they didn't use all uniform looking bread. And I'm like, "One of those is mine." And Chris ate it. He was like, "That was your loaf." So it happens, but you just have to date it and put your name. But can I just express to you how ashamed I felt? It's really ashamed. So please uplift me with some fun things you did this weekend. Anybody see any snakes? Have a good conversation, eat good food.
Oh, no snakes. But we were at my niece's birthday party Saturday night. I didn't see it happen.
Oh dear. What happened?
It's always a great way to
Is
start a
this
story.
Molly's grade?
No. This is I guess she turned 9.
Okay, different. She is not at Auburn
And
yet.
and all the guys were sitting out on my sister-in-law's back porch just hanging out, but there was a ceiling fan that was
Why is it always the ceiling?
No.
something?
Yeah, it's going in a direction you're not even going to see. But I do need listener participation in this because we need to identify what happened. I don't know. Everybody just came in asking for Benadryl for Jared. And I'm like,
Your Jared?
my Jared. Apparently, they said it came out of nowhere. I'm guessing it got caught up in the fan flow.
Mm.
He said it was he's calling it a murder wasp or murder hornet or something. He said it was the giantest flying waspy insect he's ever seen. And he said it came out of nowhere. He said, I wasn't moving. I wasn't talking, came down and stung his wrist. And then just flew away. And Jared's been stung. I mean, he does yard work all the time. Y'all, when I say his whole arm, it over the next 24 hours, when I hand big time swollen, arm all the way up, it spread all the way up his forearm, started doing some weird rash up here. Benadryl didn't touch it. He couldn't even close his hand. It was so swollen.
It probably was a murder or something.
Well, I don't know. He ended up going to the doctor yesterday and they gave him 2 steroid shots and put him on steroid and an antibiotic, which I thought was stupid. I was like, I'm not a doctor, but don't take the antibiotic yet. But anyway, it's better today. But is there something? Because it happened. There's something at my sister-in-law's house. It happened to her like 2 weeks ago and she had to go get a steroid shot too. So there's some new COVID lab leak insect that is out there, y'all.
Bill Gates.
It's black.
Bill Gates.
It's black. Can anybody?
Is it the Bill Gates mosquitoes that he formulated and released?
No. He said it looked like a black wasp that was giant.
There's a great black wasp.
Well, can I see the great black wasp?
Yes. 1 second.
Well, I didn't see it. I wouldn't know it. But he said it looked like a hummingbird came down and stung his.
Oh my gosh, that looks like a hummingbird.
Can you ask
Are they in Alabama?
Are they dangerous?
Hey Siri.
Oh, growing up to 3 inches long. That might be it.
Wasps in Alabama.
They rarely sting humans unless.
I'm thinking that maybe.
That's what came to try to kill your husband. I'm glad he's okay.
Grows up.
Rarely stings humans unless stepped on or trapped.
It got trapped and it panicked.
Well, it wouldn't have been trapped, but I'm wondering if it felt like something hit it, like the fan just shot it straight down. But then I started thinking, what if it stings you on your face, or if it stung you in the neck and then your neck swells up and you can't breathe and then you die? And then what if you're out on your own and you get stung by a new species of something that you've never been stung by and you don't have an EpiPen and everything goes south and you're by yourself and then you can't get help?
Allison, if you're in your house and you get stung by an EpiPen, stung by something and you need an EpiPen, put your face in the freezer. Put whatever limb has gotten.
Oh, I was like, well, if it's on my foot, why do I put my face in the freezer?
Put your foot then. Put your foot in the freezer. Well, the reason why you would do that is if something's swelling up, it's eventually going to get to your lungs and affect your breathing. And so my aunt has kids who have to carry EpiPens and they stick their head in the freezer if a bee or something stings them. I'm just saying.
But what does it do? Stop
the freezer freezes it and prevents it from getting further and delays the onset of the swelling.
Okay. Well, his arm was hot.
Oh, good Lord.
And giant. He looked like what's the movie? The Eddie Murphy movie? Come on, the Eddie Murphy movie.
JP, what's the Eddie Murphy movie?
Where he becomes a girl, not Dr. Doolittle.
Norbit?
No, it is Doolittle. Dr. Doolittle? No, come on. Somebody that y'all know what this is called. What where he gets the hot girl.
It's not, I know which one that is, but I don't know the name of it.
It's
Boomerang?
No.
Keep going. You're on the right list.
I just typed in Eddie Murphy gets hot girl, and that's
no. Okay, type in Eddie Murphy movies, and then name them off. Not Raw.
Not Coming to America. Not Beverly Hills Cop. Not Norbit. Not the Nutty Professor.
It is the Nutty Professor. Yeah, that's what he looks like. He looked like his arm looked like it belonged on the Nutty Professor.
That's really scary. Did it look like? Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's it.
Hold on.
That is what
He gets his arm. Did you take a picture of his arm?
No,
Why didn't you?
I don't know.
Allison, we need to see those things.
But I kept like squeeze, and it felt like you're touching on this. It was so puffed up.
Bless
yeah.
his heart.
Anyway, he's okay. But yeah, he looked like Nutty Professor.
Was he having any trouble breathing?
No, it never got that far. But when it got past his elbow,
That's not good. That is not good at all.
Like,
I don't know anything. I just know that's not good.
Yeah, that was about as exciting as it got. Let's see. Yep, that was it. JP?
I had a one of my best friends from high school who I hadn't seen in like a year. He stayed with me Friday and Saturday and left Sunday because his sister got married in Birmingham. But this is actually a great conversation because he's the one, I don't know if I mentioned it on the show, but I had a friend who sent me a political text about Islam and was genuinely like interested and conflicted. But he got back late from the wedding, like around 11. And I was really tired, like when I got back to my apartment, and he just kind of floats the question of like, I don't know if you want to have this conversation now, but I've been thinking about a lot of like political stuff. And like, I'm like so tired and I'm like, well, I have to. This is my job. Okay. I have to. And it was.
Did you start stretching?
Yeah. Like 1 sec. Hold on.
Did you rub your eyes?
Let me, okay.
Did you just do some air punching bags?
No.
Like any of that?
But it first started with the Islam question about, political, like mosques. And there's he lives in Tennessee, and there's a candidate in Tennessee on the Republican side talked about banning mosques, and he, had an issue with if it was against freedom of religion or not. But then it kind of veered into, because he's a left-leaning guy. And he's like, I kind of like what I'm seeing about like what Mamdani's doing and stuff. He wasn't fully on board, but he's like, it sounds pretty good. And we talked until 2:30 in the morning. Okay. And we had like, I threw like all of my arguments out at him, and it was still, but what about this? And eventually I was like, you know what? I'm just going to read you the DSA platform. I'm just going to go bullet by bullet, the DSA platform of what these people believe. And then when it got to, rewriting the Constitution. This is all on there, by the way. Abolishing the Senate, abolishing the presidency, abolishing the Supreme Court, having all elected officials put in place by Congress, expanding the House. And I read them all, and he was like, "What? Are you serious?" I was like, "Yeah, bro, yes." And that pretty much ended the whole debate right there. And
good for you.
It's funny how it's with the DSA crowd. They lure you in with with things that sound great, like socialism. But when you actually go to what the end goal is, then you're like, what are y'all talking about? But it blew me away, because the casual politicos, who are my generation in particular, that just hear the good things that like Mamdani's and others are saying with a smile, and they genuinely don't know what their actual platform is. And that was my main takeaway of like, this is kind of scary how people can get, especially my generation, get lured into it. And then with the Islam stuff, I was, like the end point is, if it's not Christ, it's not true. And he is a Christian, and he kind of had to face that of like, oh yeah. Cause he kept doing like, but what if their verses are getting taken out of context like ours are? But what if, and I was like, you're giving them the benefit of the doubt. They're not Christian. They're not the truth, like period, the end. But I just remember seeing his face when I read the DSA platform, and he was like, okay, no. It was like, that was enough. He's off. But
and they can't argue with that, because that's their words. That's not JP's version. That's straight off their website.
But it completely threw my sleep pattern off, though. Recovering today. I woke up. This is why I unfortunately was not at church, because I was Saturday night, and I woke up at 11:45.
Oh my word.
Wow.
But what a great conversation that you had. And I mean, think about it. That's what it really is all about, is pointing people in the right direction so that their thinking is transformed. Because that changes everything. As you think, that's how you are. That's great.
Yeah. About how, like, I was like, this is what I do. Okay. If I can't do it on my best or my worst night when I'm tired and want to go to bed, I can't do it at all. So I was like,
that's good. That's good.
It's like, this is the
That's a big boy moment.
Yeah.
Look at you.
But we also Ella and I test drove cars Saturday for me.
Did you?
Kind of coming up on needing a new car. So that was fun.
That's fun.
Anything that you were like,
though.
oh, I like it.
They know somebody. Her family knows a salesperson at the Mercedes plant in Irondale. So we went there and I drove an Audi Q7. I didn't like it. But then I drove a Mercedes GLE, which was pretty good.
Did you like that?
I did.
Is that the SUV version?
Yep.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much all I did this weekend.
Very fun. Well, I'll save this for our Thursday conversation. Just FYI for fun before we do word of the day. Have y'all seen The Cinderella Man? It's old. My parents recommended it last weekend and Chris watched it before, but I was in my fall asleep at 8 p.m. era, when the kids are little and you don't even know what happens once they go to bed. That was a great movie based on a true story. So anyway, throwing that out there. You may or may not see that in the newsletter tomorrow because I was very inspired by his life. Okay.
I do want to mention, are we going to do word of the day?
Yeah.
I do want to mention that I don't think it made it out on any of our socials, but Corey Hill, the ag commissioner candidate for the Republican Party, nominee, will be on today at 11:10. He's going to tell us what's going on with beef and cattle and herds and market manipulation. And if we're going to all be eating fake meat and bugs, but he'll be on in the 11 o'clock hour.
I'm very excited about that because I don't even understand what's going on. And so I'm glad he will be able to talk us through what that means and anything we need to do right now. Because is it going to get more expensive? Is it going to get less? And what exactly are we eating? But we have a great week like that. We have Corey Hill. And then Tuesday, we have 2 guests tomorrow, you guys. We have our friend, Jonathan Barbie, coming on. We're talking flock still. Yes. And you may have seen the story this weekend in AL.com about legislators coming together to see about banning the use of flocks. We're going to follow that. But Jonathan's been talking about this for years. And then we have Dr. Douglas Frank back because he's in town to speak at the Eagle Forum event tomorrow night. And then we have Alex Duncan from Texas. We're going to talk to him on Thursday. And he is going to talk about the deception angle that Muslims are using on people and spotting it, understanding it. How did we get here? And more. And those are just the guests we know about. You never know. We're like a box of chocolates. You don't know. You just got to open up the box of chocolates and look because you don't know what you're going to get, but it's going to be good.
Matt Gentry will be here Thursday.
That's right. Matt Gentry
on Thursday. I don't know
if
he'll be he might be in studio. He might just join by video. He's just going to update us since he won his Public Service Commission seat nomination, kind of what's going on there. So that'll be interesting too.
It'll be very good. So all that and more on the show this week. But first, before we hit our first break, we're going to do the word of the day.
Three, two, one.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, I looked. Allison! But okay, I'm not going to guess. This is
Okay.
this is just JP.
Okay, we're going to clip that because Allison stopped dancing and her eyes immediately went to your phone.
I even tried.
Immediately went to her phone.
This is what she does. Let me find the word of the day.
But if you know I'm doing it, don't look.
JP, this is all you.
You
you got this.
JP,
one. You know this word.
JP, all right. Starts with an E, ends with an S. It's a long word. It's an adjective. Allison Akers Sinclair.
Okay, go.
Shame. For shame. Is a formal word that is used to describe someone acting in a quick and efficient way or something done in such a manner. Both sides hope for a blank resolution of the dispute. We hope for a blank resolution of the beef dispute.
Starts with an E, ends with an S.
Yes. Inspectors were on campus Friday afternoon with the certified arborist to determine this is too long. That's way too long of a sentence.
Don't look if Brad texts in because Brad's going to get it. Don't look.
Blank has had it comes from, no, I can't even. It relates to the word. Oh, I can't say it. You'll know it if I say it. It's quick. It's efficient. It's
a type of shipping.
Oh,
you're
express.
Close. Keep going. Close.
Yes, you do.
You do. JP, I believe in you.
I don't know. It's not express.
It's another word for express.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Expeditious.
Oh. I was going to say expedition.
Expeditious is the opposite of what happens in our state capital.
Yeah.
Fair.
Good.
I love you guys. Ladies, y'all are not expeditious people.
Okay, so for the Gen Z word of the day, we're going to this was Saturday night. Ella and I sat on her couch and we made all the Gen Z words we haven't done yet for Gen Z word of the day.
Thank you.
Just because we were bored. And so we're going to do this one. Let me look up the Gen Z definition so I can read it.
These are going to be ones we'll never guess.
I'm excited. You're right. Nothing. I'll know nothing.
I'm pretty sure I haven't done this one. This means acting wildly, inappropriately, or completely unhinged, rather than the traditional corporate definition of being away, busy, or unreachable. 3 words.
Out of office.
Very close.
Out of touch. Out of pocket.
Yes. Out of pocket.
How'd you get that?
Coffee.
That's the Gen Z. Like if you're acting crazy, you're acting out of pocket.
Okay. That just means like I can't reach you.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you're acting crazy. It just means you don't have your phone. That's weird.
You are out of pocket. That's the Gen Z term. Actually, I knew it as that definition before when people said they were out of pocket. Like, oh, I had to learn what it meant.
Is that kind of like out of line? Like we would say you're out of line.
Yes.
Like you're acting nuts. You're out of line.
You crazy.
You cray.
I like unhinged. But out of pocket sounds so elegant. That's an elegant Gen Z word.
You need a pocket.
They might not even
get in it.
They probably don't.
Okay. Wait, we didn't even do Yammer.
Yeah, we're going to do it on the other side.
Okay, montage. Yammer montage news after this.
First, before we ask any questions, welcome, Senator. How are you today?
Good to be with you guys on a hot Thursday morning, and good to hear your voices.
Well, thank you for being here. It is unspeakably hot, but here's another issue that is also like on fire. It's so hot. But you did something that most of us weren't aware of. And that's in 2021, while most of us were thinking about COVID and trying to survive that, you were on top of an issue, this flock issue. I'm embarrassed to say I didn't know anything about it. You get used to the CCTV, just the cameras around, but you don't think about a whole nother element added to that. But you were on top of an issue and we didn't know about it yet. You filed a bill and it limited the time the government would have access to license plate reader data. Why did you file that bill? And what did you see?
Well, I see what people are now seeing today. And I hate to say I was prescient or something, but unfortunately back then, Amy Beth, the public was just, and my colleagues in the legislature had they just weren't interested in the issue. And the issue back then was the usage of these flocking cameras, these digital plate readers, license plate readers that were being spread around the state in various places. And a high part of it was for commercial purposes. In other words, they would have your license plate and they would be able to market to you if you drove under one. And it could have a commercial purpose where you drive under one on the interstate and it says, hey, Amy Beth, you got a Starbucks 2 miles ahead at the next exit, pull on over. And the idea that they would be using government right away for commercial purposes was totally unacceptable. And then secondly, we get into the law enforcement area, which you're sympathetic. I certainly am with law enforcement. We want to catch bad guys and gals, and we want to put them in prison. But there were no parameters or guardrails or restrictions. It was just, we're going to put these readers up, and we don't, what we do with that information or where it goes, how long, who can access it, all that. Trust us. And I wasn't comfortable with that either. So anyway, long story short, when the legislation ran into a lot of headwinds from my colleagues at the time, the best deal I could cut at the time was to get ALDOT to put policies in place. And I was assured by the transportation director at the time, Mr. Cooper, that they would, and they did. In my opinion, they're very, very loose. They're not as tight as I would like to see. And now that it seems, as you say, the public has awakened, I'm ready to revisit the issue and really clamp down on these if the public even wants them at all. And I think that's the initial debate out of the gate. Do we even want to have them? And then if we do, we really need to put some restrictions and guardrails and more limitations on the usage of them. And we all know we support the police, but they're bad actors among the police. And what happens if you get a cop that wants to check up on his girlfriend and see where she's going, or somebody else, or a business associate, or whatever? We don't need that. And if that happens, they need to be punished accordingly.
So before we get into some details, I want to know your thoughts. Are these cameras, and whether they're flock? We had JJ Reach on yesterday, who's running for Jefferson County Sheriff. He's an investigator right now in Calera. He has thoughts on these flock cameras. I would say flock is a general term for all of the license plate readers. So when we say flock, that's what we mean. But are these readers even constitutional? Do you see a problem with the Fourth Amendment?
Yeah, no, they've, to my understanding, and I went through this back in 2021, they are constitutional because they're out in the public. People are moving around in the public. So there's no difference in if a police cruiser were there taking pictures on the side of the road and noticing license plates and to report into the station or whatever. So because you have no right of privacy to your license plate being on your vehicle, then there is no expectation of privacy, and therefore they are legal. My real problem is these companies are using, they're using government right away and to do this. So that gives us the right to really come in and limit how they're used. Now, you could presumably, and explored this back in 5 years ago, you could have not in the right of way, but have on your private property a license plate reader that reads vehicle tags as they come by, and there was nothing that you could do to stop that. But using government airspace above interstates and other roadways, et cetera, that's where we get involved and able to draw some lines around. So
so you want to tackle it not from a constitutionality standpoint, but from we need guardrails and ways
to my understanding, again, going back, that this has been ruled on as not a search because
Yep.
there is no expectation of privacy
Okay.
for your license plate that is visible to anybody, as you drive by.
That's interesting. Okay. So let's get to your bill that you filed back then.
It was, it's, in legislation, I guess you have to have the expectation of, I'd rather have half a loaf than no loaf. Now, sometimes it's not worth compromising. It's just all or nothing. But on something like this, where we had no restrictions, there was nothing on the books to stop what was going on. My starting point and talking to my colleagues, they weren't interested, but I went ahead and filed the bill. But my point here is, it was a lot looser than I would like to have today now that
Okay.
people are clued in.
How would you change it? What would you, because I read through the bill. I thought it was actually pretty strong. It seems like you were way ahead of the
time
game.
for retention, I patterned it after a Georgia.
So excited about that.
I'm pretty sure we're back.
Yeah, y'all are back now.
We are. Anywho, hi, I'm Amy Beth. She's Allison. He's JP. We're just, spinning a bunch of plates in the air. It's fine.
We can do it, Abs. I think it'll be good.
No, we can. I know it will be good. But that's because I trust you.
It'll be good.
Okay. All right, you guys. We have some stories that we can't wait to share with you. Please hold while I gather her from the word Allison saw.
Oh, wait. We got
What?
comments and texts too we can read before you.
Oh,
Please do, because now my story is gone and I've got to go back and get it. Dang it.
If y'all want to comment or text into the show, you can comment on the live stream you're watching or text into 833-687-4448. Chris from Starrett said, "Happy Monday. Looking forward to sharing the week with the right side. Love y'all."
Oh, thank you.
He also said,
that's so sweet.
homemade bread at church. I need to visit.
Oh, you should visit.
Oh,
Come visit. We start at 10. We're usually done at about 11:45. Please. It's awesome. If you like, like hymns
Yeah, it's based.
and such. But man, it's meat and potatoes every week and good people.
it wouldn't be far for Chris.
No, come with us.
Can text him where it is.
Look, just look for the tallest guy in the room, and that's
What are you
my
laughing
better
See,
half.
Tall guy, shorter Amy Beth, and then bald head.
It's us. Come sit with us. We'd love to have you. Genuinely.
He also said, talking about the wasp, that happened to me years ago. My hand looked like a latex glove balloon.
Okay, what was it?
He didn't say.
Chris.
But he said the cold helps reduce inflammation.
All right. Well, he did finally go get. I was really upset. He got my organic sweet potatoes and my organic edamame, and sandwiched his arm between both of them.
So you're saying he took your foods and used them as salve on his arm?
Yeah, he said, "Do you not want to save my life?" And I'm like, "Yeah, but there's some really old fruit in there. Like, go get that.
Or like some peas.
It's not my expensive sweet potatoes."
He's probably like, Allison.
Yeah, he was not really happy with me.
George Patton on the Facebook, he said, "I was in Atlanta 2 weekends ago and the flock cameras on every corner made me feel so safe. I didn't even mind all the aggressive homeless people approaching me and asking me for cash because I knew flock was watching over me." Smiling face.
That right there sums up how stupid we are.
Mhm.
I mean, literally, you could go get all the homeless people, put them together, and either put them, well, it depends on what they were doing. If they were high, and you could use that to get them in jail or to get them into a homeless shelter. But we won't even do that and make people safe. Oh, no, we'll just read your license plate, find out if somebody we need is in that car, because we'll cross the line. Apparently, the Fourth Amendment only matters if you're in your home, except your car is also your personal property. So it does apply there as well. But no, we're just going to leave the homeless out and let them come get you. It's fine.
I think
fine.
the place I've landed with flock is similar to Arthur Orr's of, like, maybe even if constitutionally there's a loophole to where like you're not owed privacy with your license plate. Like I get it, but the lack of guardrails is insane to me, you know? So I think the first low hanging fruit is, hey, why are the local police able to hold that footage for, what was it, 5 years? So that's, I think, the guardrails and the police being able to access it and stalk their ex-wives and such. Like, it is insane to me. So if constitutionally there's not a way to get rid of it altogether yet, then the guardrails is a discussion I think we need to have first. Like, that is one legislation needs to tackle this session.
And it's so interesting. It's just walloping me right now. There were cameras involved in Will's 2 stolen car incidents, and the second car that he got was also broken into on campus. And I'm thinking, you guys could have used that. How many cameras do you have downtown? How often do you hear of cars broken into or stolen? And what are they doing about it? Nothing. So the argument that we have police and the police can see and they can help arrest people, really? Because that was not our situation or our case at all. And we know that car theft is legendary in downtown Birmingham, and you're not doing a darn thing about it. So that argument doesn't actually hold water, that you're using it to get criminals off. No, you're not. You're selectively using it to get people off the street and stalk girlfriends. So, no.
Well, I think this was Friday. I was talking to my dad and I mentioned the flock cameras, and I asked him if like he'd been because he's like a casual political guy, and if he had been keeping up, he's like, I see them around. I see people talking about it. I think if you're not doing nothing wrong, then what's the big deal? Like he said word for word the thing.
Wow.
And I said, well, Dad, you know, it may not be a big deal now, but if you put in a surveillance state and you go back to 2020 lockdown period, and now the government has all the tools it can to punish you to not do anything, and you pretty much granted a surveillance state. And he was like, oh, well, I guess you're right. Like, he didn't even think that far down, you know, but that, I feel like that's the consensus of most people. They just don't want to be bothered. It's like, well, I'm not doing nothing wrong. So, but you got to think about, well, we didn't think before COVID that was going to happen.
Because people are so busy just trying to live their lives, and they don't even think that there are other people that could be up to nefarious things using cameras to surveil them. Like, they don't think that way. Your dad is a decent, he's not thinking that they're going to watch him. But that's what we're here for, to remind you that there are people who use the common good to do some twisted things. And we need to be at every step of the way preventing our government from overstepping. Not us from overstepping, them from overstepping. And so we're here to remind you, lovingly, of course.
What were you laughing about earlier, Allison?
I was trying to do a soft smile.
Okay. Not like.
Yeah, that's what because I genuinely, like, if we have a guest on or y'all are talking, I'm genuinely listening. So it's why I have this giant line right here, because I'm really focused. And then I catch a glimpse of myself. I'm like, I look really mad. So I was.
That's creepy.
Well,
soft smile.
We got 2 more texts from Ian from Hartsville, and then we can get to Yammer. Ian said, this great black wasp doesn't sound so great.
No.
Stay away from him.
He also says, JP, don't fall into the new car payment garbage. Drive an old Ford Fiesta and save your money. Yeah. I'm not buying new. I'm not that stupid.
Look, you can get
But I need newer.
Yeah. Well, and with the cars that you were looking at, the one thing that I do enjoy about them is that you have one day a year where you get your car serviced and all the things are done, oil changes and whatever. Well, not even just one. For Mercedes, I could say one. But your car's not going to fall apart. And that, at this point in my life, is what I'm after. I want somebody to take care of it and keep me on schedule, because I'm not good at it. And those cars you're looking at will do that, which is great. Now, you're a man, you're going to remember. But anyway, yeah.
All right. Are y'all ready for the Yammer segment?
Yes.
It's time for Yammer.
Would you like some good news?
Yes.
Would you like some good news?
I like good news.
This hits home. Alabama kindergarten vaccines exemptions hit record high, driven by non-medical exemptions. Do you know what that means? It means parents are paying attention. It means they're speaking up and they're saying, no, thank you to the 77 vaccines given from birth through age, whatever, teenage, 16, 18, mainly concentrated in earlier years. But a story from NBC 15 says that that this is a big deal. It's happened now. And of course, the story won't pull up, but there are stats in it that are excellent. And I'm excited about it. It was the highest for the 25-26 school year. They're non-medical. And Alabama reported 1,626 kindergartners with an exemption from one or more vaccines, representing 3% of the 53,000 children included in the state's data. That's up from 2.3% during the previous school year. And it goes on and on. But I was excited that more and more parents are saying, no, thank you, or let's just slow this down. That's great news.
What do you say to the people that say that's bad news?
I would say just ask your physician to please read the back of the insert on the vaccines they're giving your children. For example, mRNA or MMR, and say, could you just, before we do this, could you just read the insert, please? And then perhaps the parent could also bring with them what is in the vaccines, the list of the things that are put in there, the additives, and ask the doctor if they could just please read through those. And either the parent or the doctor just do that, and maybe that'll give everybody pause, and there'll be more numbers next year. But for the people who say, oh, that's bad news, just go read the insert. Just read it and ask yourself if you're okay with all those things that are in the vaccine, in addition to the thing they say they're vaccinating your child against. Just check it out for yourself, and maybe you'll be in that number next year.
That's actually really good. That's like using the DSA platform to prove your point. Are you all right with formaldehyde and arsenic and graphite?
Or, aborted fetal cells.
Yeah.
They're in there. Don't take our word for it. Go check it out.
I like it a lot. That makes me happy.
I saw it and I said, that's going to make Sinclair happy. I said that.
Actually,
Hippie, hippie, hippie.
0.7% in 1 year is significant.
It's big time.
Big deal.
Go parents.
All right. Gavin Newsom.
He's a dummy.
What a dummy.
He says he's a dummy. Those are his words.
God, he's so freaky looking. I know. He signed into law the Stop Nick Shirley Act last week. This is crazy. This is what Nick says. These politicians need the fraud to continue, and they sadly use immigrants to do so often. And he goes on to say, if I film a hospice or clearing center with no patients receiving millions through Medicaid, and the owner gives me a paper saying I cannot publish the video, I cannot publish it. If I do, to expose them, and they claim it caused them fear, I'm so scared, or a third party threatens them, I face a minimum of $4,000 in civic fines plus the legal fees of the individual group that's suing me. How is this legal? Honestly, how is this? This is a government entity, a government funded entity that we are paying for, whether you're in California, there are federal funds going into this. You have an independent journalist that's just going, they're not destroying property. They're not doing anything, but just legitimately asking questions, not Candace Owens type asking questions. And now that's illegal?
I don't know how that's legal. It doesn't seem like it should be. It seems like a higher court would be able to strike that law down since it is our money and we are funding that. And they're saying, hey, nothing to see here. Come do fraudulent things in our state. That's basically what he's saying, right?
Well, if you read the next paragraph of Nick's statement, it gets worse. This bill was created by the Attorney General's wife and co-sponsored by Churla, a nonprofit that has received over $80 million in taxpayer dollars for, quote, immigrant support services.
SMH.
This somehow goes back to your dad's comment of if you're not doing anything wrong, why should you worry about flock cameras? They instantly made something illegal that wasn't illegal 2 weeks ago. They can turn the script on you, flip the script so quickly to where now Nick Shirley is going to get sued and can't operate in the state of California without legal fines and fees and potentially criminal convictions. It's bizarre. This isn't even America. New scum. Just go away. God, I feel like he's been there forever.
Do you know if he looks like a mouse kind of?
No.
Or a snake, a pit viper?
I don't. He needs to chill on the plastic surgery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a Yellowhammer story here. This is by Sawyer Knowles. Katie Britt urges Trump to reconsider beef import plan. Said, quote, I share their deep concerns. Corey Hill is going to be on next segment to talk about this. U.S. Senator Katie Britt is urging President Donald Trump to reconsider his plan to expand beef imports, saying she shares concerns from Alabamians about the potential impact on American cattle producers. The president said foreign exporters have committed to selling the beef at 25% below current market prices as his administration works to bring down grocery costs while the domestic cattle herd rebuilds.
But if we're for the American farmer, why would you do that? I don't understand.
It's in the montage, but his main reasoning is that Argentina is like dying and they need help. And there's a geopolitical aspect of this as well, where Argentina is our biggest ally in South America. And so we want to help and keep them strong to counter, like China and Russia from coming in and doing like what they did in Venezuela. So there's that aspect to it. But I mean, is that worth putting your American cattle farmers?
No, that's America last. That's the total opposite of what I thought we were doing. And yes, I mean, the prices are high. So I think he's trying to get some relief in the grocery stores, which it will temporarily. But I think and this is what I want to talk to Corey Hill about, is that I think it messes with cattle farmers and how they plan. Because if you are all of a sudden getting this influx of foreign beef, you can't plan your herds, you can't plan sales. You're messing with the market.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of a market manipulation.
Yeah, I think so.
It totally undercuts everything this administration has done with tariffs, and the main message across the board has been, no, America first. We want American farmers, American manufacturing. We want America to be strong and start to rebuild, because we've just been a consumer state globally, and it's wrecked our national like our base. But then you do this, but his reaction, you'll see it in the montage, is like visceral. Like it's almost like he's getting in the reporter's face. This girl that asked the question, like, Argentina is dying. Do you understand that? It just is like the polar opposite of everything messaging wise, with tariffs and just America first altogether. So I don't know. It came out of nowhere, but I've seen, the Alabama farmer, some organization, it was the American Cattle or Alabama Cattle Farmers put out a statement strongly condemning it. So, it's going to hurt the Alabama and American farmers big time, but we'll talk with Corey at 11:10.
Okay. Well, that's a thing.
I wonder if this is a true, like, Katie Britt doesn't normally break with President Trump. I was actually it was refreshing to see her just honestly say she has concerns about it. And did you see Trump though say before that where he said he wasn't going to say where the beef was coming from? That was even creepier.
That's weird.
I'm not going to say. Okay.
Like you can't not say, if you want us to buy the food, we need to know where it's from.
Yeah, that's a whole other. Ugh, I don't want mystery meat.
Odd.
Yuck.
Okay, this is just outside of what we've talked about, and it's before we get to the montage in the 11 o'clock hour and Corey Hill. But I have a question I saw in the news last night, and I wonder if you've seen this.
If I don't have a real answer, I'll make one up.
Okay, do make it up.
Yeah.
All right. So we're watching, and there's a thing. There's 2 different apps, and it seems to be trying to stave off all the people not marrying and having kids. And it's an app where people look to co-parent together, but not be in a romantic relationship. Have you guys heard about that?
Wait. So like I'm a single mom, there's a single dad, and we decide to co-parent, but we're
And even worse than that, you could get together and have a child, but not be romantically involved and co-parent. So yes, but also these people are looking for a connection and community, and they want to have a child, but they do not want the entanglement of marriage or romance. They just want a child, and they want to
Okay.
co-parent with a friend.
This isn't
And there
helping
are
my
apps.
wrinkle.
No, I saw that and I was like, I've got to ask you guys about that. So it takes it into being a transactional situation, not relational. I get what I want. You get what you want. There's no real talk of the child in there. No real talk of growing them up. It's more of, I'm getting old and I don't really want to marry. This is really just what I want. It seems like a natural offshoot of the promiscuity of, gosh, it's generational since the beginning of the world, really. But we've just now invented something new and horrific to go along with it. Have you guys heard about this? There are only 2 apps that I saw so far, but that's just so far.
No, it goes in line with the lack of commitment, because honestly, a relationship is not meant to further your own desires of what you want. I mean, obviously that comes with it, but the purpose of a relationship is to serve the other person, like from the man's standpoint, to love your wife like Jesus loves the church, and then in reverse, to support that. Like, it's about the other person and serving the other person, and you get satisfaction from that and you're happy from that. But when you go into relationships of just like, how can this other person appeal to what I want, and then what can I get from this other person, then the child becomes an offshoot of that selfishness as well, because you're not even thinking about the child. You're just thinking about me, instead of how can I serve the other person in a godly way and then raise a child in a godly way. The onus is on you, me, the narcissistic side of it, rather than serving the other person. And you couple that with like the Lindsay Clancy stuff, where the women don't even think twice about the kids. It's what she was doing, what was best for her. It's just another example of how the whole relationship is viewed through the lens of how can I be served best through this? And that's backwards and twisted. But it comes into play when the child suffers from it.
Yeah. I don't see a whole lot of good at all coming out of that. But I think that's what we as a pagan civilization do now, is what do I want? Okay, great. And if it works for me now, great. But what happens when you're done with the child or you're done with the person? Not good things.
You can just kill the child, apparently, and people line up in pink and cheer you on.
Which, could I ask a question in that regard too?
Mm-hmm.
Is they're all making excuses. The women in pink are making excuses for her identifying with her, but and she's even said, Lindsay, that she did kill the children. Yes, they're trying to blame it on all the drugs. That's a whole separate conversation. But she says she did it, and then now pretends like maybe not, and flung herself out of the window, and now is paralyzed as a result. But if she didn't know that it was wrong, if she was out of her mind, then why did she try to kill herself as well and fling herself out of the window out of sheer guilt over what she did? I haven't heard the women lining up in pink have an answer for that.
I didn't know she tried to fling herself out the window because she had guilt. I thought she just was like demons, pigs, cliff. I don't know. I don't know if it's good or bad. I haven't watched one thing of that case. All I know is she has crazy eyes and she 100% did it. And we're watching the slippery slope. And I think we talked about this last week of abortion now outside of the womb. It all goes back to wantedness. She didn't want the kids anymore. So, you know what? Let's rally around her. She had a really tough day. She had a nanny and she stayed home and she had all this support and her husband worked from home and all these things, but she just didn't want him anymore. So, yeah, let's line up in pink. Sad.
You want to push, you want to take this to 11:05 and then come back at 11:10 with Corey?
Sir, whatever you'd like.
I say we push it to 11:05 and then come back at 11:10 with Corey.
Okay.
And we go into Z montage.
Yes, sir.
Black News.
I value my privacy. My family values their privacy. My employees value their privacy. But what we're talking about is safety as well. And so I think when people talk about just one of these, privacy or safety, they're prioritizing the wrong thing. And what we have to prioritize as a country is compromise. How do we have our safety? And how do we balance privacy?
Question is, what do you have to say to U.S. farmers who feel that the deal is benefiting Argentina more than it is them, as they are
Argentina's fighting for its life, young lady. You don't know anything about it. They're fighting for their life. Nothing's benefiting Argentina. They're fighting for their life. You understand what that means?
Well, you know, I opened up my social media algorithm this morning, Maria, to find that the principal spokesperson for the Democratic Party, Hassan Piker, was leading a rally last night, reading a rally last night to celebrate the assassination of Charlie Kirk.
4 people expecting routine surgeries at this Tennessee hospital are now facing a medical nightmare. A drug mix-up at Ascension St. Thomas Midtown Hospital in Nashville reportedly left 2 patients paralyzed and at least 1 other on a ventilator after officials say they were given the wrong medication prior to surgery.
And right before the break, this was the scene inside Wintrust Arena after Natasha Cloud got that bucket. She wanted her voice heard.
She wanted her voice heard in the Women's National Basketball Association. And so a man triggered her. Okay, that makes sense. But a woman wanted her voice heard. I'm glad she knew what a woman was at that moment. Whoever that announcer was. It's cute.
Where do I want to start? We got about 5 minutes, so I don't know if we want to. I don't know if y'all saw the Hassan Piker mocking Charlie Kirk with the song. There's been like a song that someone made for Charlie Kirk, and it's been used and hijacked by the left as like a meme to mock Charlie Kirk. And it was some tour that he's doing, like a DSA crowd tour, where it's like a panel of Democratic influencers, and he sung the song mocking Charlie in front of the crowd. It was indicative. Like when I watched that video, there's not been a person who has been disrespected more in death than Charlie Kirk, honestly. And there's a lot of different reasons for that. I saw somebody talking about how this feels very spiritual. It's like it's almost as if Satan is mocking Charlie for how much he advocated for Christ in his life, that he's being mocked in his death with just the mockery, the insults. It's insane to me because if you think back to when that happened, it was the conservative, like conservative young men, but not just, us, everybody was appalled by what happened and honored Charlie and what he stood for. And just think about how quickly it shifted into mocking Charlie, mocking Erica, mocking Turning Point, making it a crime, like a Dateline crime show with Candace talking about Tyler Robinson, even though she has no evidence. I've never seen a death be twisted into everything but the person, especially if somebody of Charlie's position than this. I just feel a pit in my stomach because I remember how much it impacted me and how quick, like the left got off the hook because the story went from a leftist murdered Charlie because he was supporting Christianity, Christian values, traditional values, conservative values, into Erica could have been in it. Israel could have been in it. Tyler Robinson didn't do it. And Charlie Kirk, we just need to mock him because we never really liked him anyways. The left's going to pay for that. And when I say that, not with violence, I say that with conservative Gen Z that are going to come into power eventually. we know what happened. We know the true story, and we're not going to let them win. And we're not going to also forget the fact of how Candace and Tucker and others let the left get off the hook and dance on his grave. It's just disgusting to me. But I'll just finish. The DSA crowd of the like the Gen Z left, this is what they're about. They mock, they dance, they have no sacred view of life. If you're against them, they will kill you and laugh about it. And that's not hyperbole. So that is the current state of the Democratic Party, and it's evil.
I didn't see any of that. I have no clue what you're talking about in terms of the song. Do you have any clips of that?
Yeah,
I'll play. Did I send you the song? Did I send you him singing?
Yeah,
I thought I did. Even
I'll
just a
pull it
clip
up.
of it. It's horrific. Hassan and Charlie met before he died. They were going to debate. And here's Hassan singing this song. Also ironic that he is in wildly expensive clothing while promoting the Democratic Socialist agenda. I think that's so precious. So there's that as well. Giant bubble letters with arrows pointing down. Hypocrites. But I think people need to hear the song.
Well, the song was made by somebody who actually was like supporting Charlie.
Yeah, but Hassan singing the song.
Yeah, but it got hijacked like as a meme to make fun of him. And that's what, I mean, he was singing the song to mock him. So here's the song.
He stood unshaken, a horse in the storm, a man of conviction, a heart reborn. He spoke the truth when the world was high. He lived for Jesus, unafraid to die.
Okay. Who were their speakers? That's what I got stuck on. And a tank top and a t-shirt. Like, that's so the left.
Yeah.
Look like slobs. I don't want to see your armpit hair. Put your arms down. It's just so I had a physical reaction when he sang Jesus. Ugh.
It's demonic. I don't throw that word around a lot, but that's just straight demons right there. I hope they enjoy their earthly life. Or
hell is hot.
Hell is going to be real hot for them unless they repent. But that's the only way out of this. But that's unbelievable.
That's worse than I imagined, actually.
But Hassan is somebody that knew Charlie, like you said. He debated him many times. And even if he disagreed with somebody, if somebody you knew personally was shot in the manner that he was, I feel like I would never be able to get over that. Let alone mock it, you know? But the sociopathic, I can't.
They don't value life. They don't care. They do not care. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll have Ag Commissioner nominee for the Republican Party, Corey Hill. We'll be right back.
I believe back in 21. And I believe that time was 5 years on the government could keep the information. I'd want to bring that in. Then on accessing, if we're not looking at a hot pursuit, okay, they just robbed a bank and we're trying to find them. We're not looking at some kind of situation like this or an abducted child, but we're just trying to casework and see who went through on 10 days ago. I think I need to explore further having a warrant for those kind of inquiries by law enforcement of the database. Of course, the original bill had banning all commercial purposes. The idea that we would allow, those that want to sell you something access to this technology or to your movements is abhorrent to me. And just a profit. Now, in some states, my recollection is they were using this as a means to pay for the technology in some areas of the country where they would sell to Starbucks and let them know that the shaver vehicle just came through a certain point on the interstate.
It happens often through that Starbucks.
It does.
Yes.
Some of that may come through your cell phone now, but back then the link, they could link it to you using your license plate. But anyway, all that to say, no commercial usage. I think putting a warrant in there for things that aren't in an immediate need, and then really having some tougher restrictions. The restrictions that I had are penalties on law enforcement using the technology or accessing it so we can spy on my neighbor's wife or my buddy to see if she's having an affair. I don't want it. That's totally off limits, and we need to really ramp up the penalties for something like that if they're playing with the system and doing things they're not supposed to be doing.
So would you support no state funding for Flock?
Before I make a categorical sweep, my inclination would be not to. It's more of a local issue where the local PDs, local sheriff's office, they're the ones putting them in place, not ALEA, not the troopers, et cetera. It's more of a local kind of driven issue.
So we have a Flock camera that's actually, it is an actual Flock camera. It is pointed straight at our parking lot at our studio, and it was put up by the HOA of the subdivision that we're in. We've spoken to the HOA president, who has said, and this is just for you going forward as you think about this, who says that he and the board have access to all of the data that comes out of the Flock camera, that the police department has access, and Flock has access. Now, Flock has come out and said that they have limited, they're going to change instead of 30 days, they'll only hold on to the data for 7 days. Well, as of yesterday, JJ Reach said he logged in and it was still 30 days. But this bill, this bill didn't pass, this SB2 that you filed in 2021. My understanding is KIV made some administrative rule that kept it for 5 years. Does that mean that the HOA will have access to everyone that comes in and out of this subdivision, in and out of our parking lot for 5 years as it stands now?
Yeah, my understanding is the administrative rule was done by ALDOT for Flocks over, or the cameras, license plate readers over.
Oh, that's for Cooper. Okay.
State right of ways and things like that. Your HOA, private property, private land, and that gives me a lot of pause that your HOA has gone to that level of technology. It would seem that a security camera, sure.
Yes.
But to now digitally be able to track your movements like that,
it's kind of crazy. And they very glibly said they plan on putting up more in the neighborhood. Was that a good word?
That was such a good word.
Is that appropriate?
I'm so impressed.
I think that's a good word.
Okay, good word. Y'all are teaching me.
Your privacy.
Yeah, they don't. They're putting up more, and they were very excited about it.
Welcome back to the Right Side. I am Amy Beth Shaver with Allison Sinclair and JP. And if you ever wonder what our names are, they're right behind our head.
Look at my shirt.
She running, but it's such a cute shirt.
Do I look funny on your screen, JP?
Yeah. Well, no, it's just whenever you move the stripes. Yeah.
Did you get that shirt from our favorite store?
Yes, don't say it out loud.
I'm not going to say it out loud.
It's like getting beef from Argentina.
Listen, it's, I was talking about it this weekend to some people, and this one lady said, well, this is after the shame of confessing that I forgot the communion bread. She's like, I've always wanted to order from there. I'm like, just order. It's all from there anyway. All right, we are thrilled, and really in preparation for the interview, I made hamburgers this weekend just to kind of go along with the story. And I did get USDA beef from America. But to help us understand what's going on with, I said with, not with, with beef and our farmers, we are joined by Ag Commissioner, nominee for Ag Commissioner.
There you go.
Corey Hill. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning. How are y'all today?
Well, we've been better.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, been better.
What?
Gas prices,
Both
eggs,
of y'all need
beef.
to cheer up. It's a great day.
Well, I would encourage you. Thank you for eating hamburgers. I would encourage you to do that at least 3 days a week. That'd be awesome.
Hey, you know what? Say less.
On it.
Our trainer that we're working with, who also looks at our food every day, would say amen to that. So I will eat more beef just because you suggested it.
That's great. Eat more beef.
Okay. So before we even get to the importation of Argentinian beef in order to reduce prices, could you tell us just how hard it has been for Alabama farmers and their herds and beef production?
It has been quite the challenge in any kind of agricultural sector in the last little while. Beef has been a bright spot, but it has been a struggle because you see the sexy news about how high cattle are, and we're selling our cows for more than ever. But you also leave out the part about diesel fuel costing $5 a gallon and insurance costing more, and the veterinarians are charging more for drugs in their vet bill. I mean, all these costs, like we see in our everyday lives, have went up on our farms as well. So we are making more money than we are getting more money than we ever have, but it's very expensive to farm and ranch. You know, the dollar is less value now, so it takes more due to inflation. So it takes more of those dollars to pay the bills, and it's been quite the struggle. And then I heard y'all's comment earlier about, you played the clip about what the president's saying. That's very frustrating about why he kind of whipped that reporter with a wet noodle about how Argentina needs our help. Hey, what about the American farmer that voted for you? How about those folks? That's who needs the help.
So American farmers are struggling. Herds, I guess, again, I like a good cheeseburger. I had a patty melt for dinner last night, but I know nothing about well, I am a heifer. We were called heifers, but I've never hung out with a heifer. I don't know what to do on a farm. But what my understanding is from drought and just regulation, that cattle farmers have been, and cost, that herds are shrinking. So when you have a smaller supply and demand stays the same or grows for beef, you have, obviously prices are going to go up. Now, what the president wants to do, and if I'm understanding this correctly, is just a one-time kind of flood the market with this ground beef from Argentina, which let's put on pause. But I guess China just rejected a bunch of beef from Argentina because it was nasty. So now we're bringing it in. But anyway, is this the way to handle this, or how? To me, like we said, this seems like America last, but maybe I'm missing it. What is this the solution, or what would you say is the solution to helping America farmers?
You're dead on. This is America last. In a capitalist economy, typically government intervention does not work. Historically, it's not worked, and I don't see how it could work this time. I did go to community college, but even in Econ 101 there, we talked about supply and demand affects prices. And as you mentioned, we've got our lowest cattle herd we've had in over 75 years. And although if it's high, and as you know, we own a grocery store. Right now, we're selling hamburger meat for $4.79 a pound. I checked this morning for regular ground beef. That's not terrible when you consider a bag of Doritos costs $7. A jar of mayonnaise costs $6. I mean, why don't we go after the mayonnaise people? Why don't we go after the Doritos and those folks? It's kind of frustrating. People don't have to buy beef, although they're choosing to. We're complaining as consumers about the prices of beef, but we're also complaining about the prices of everything. So I don't know why we're targeting our American farmer and our Alabama farmer when we've got this whole mantra now in our country, in our state of supporting local, buying local. And that's what we're trying to do. So I want to get this plug in before we run out of time. I encourage everybody that wants to buy local. There's an opportunity there for you to do that. If you would just go to sweetgrownalabama.org, and you can type up there on the top of the place, it says Find Sweet Grown, click on that tab, and then you can search by commodity. You can search honey, beef, poultry, whatever, and you can find someone local to you that's selling beef in your community, and you can buy local. And I hope everybody that's listening will do that.
You know, we've started to do that. There's a farmer in our area, and I know there's several, but we've just started to do that to get our meat locally and support Alabama farmers. But so I love knowing that, and we'll continue to push that. But I want to go back to the Argentina issue and beef that was rejected by China. How do we find out things are rejected? How do we find out that this same beef that's coming here isn't also contaminated? Like, what do we do with that?
See, I don't know that we can find that out. I mean, somebody would know that, but I don't know that they would tell us. Unfortunately, U.S. farmers are the most regulated in the world. So you know that what we're growing here is better than what we're getting. So it's very likely that what we're going to be getting from outside this country could be rejected by other companies, or even countries, or not even deemed safe by certain countries. So it is kind of unnerving that we're doing this. We just need to expand our cattle herd in this country and grow more local beef. So I don't really have an answer to that about China rejecting that. I haven't heard that, actually.
Is this, how do you, if you're an Alabama cattle farmer, you are trying to plan for the future, you're trying to grow your herd, you start getting, because Trump says it's just going to, I think he said 3 days. I don't know what he said. It's just like a one-time infusion into the market. Well, what if he decides to do this again 6 weeks from now? I mean, how do you plan? This seems to be price manipulation, but it also seems to really hurt American farmers with planning for the future. The market is volatile anyway, probably, but there's got to be some trends that you can plan for as a farmer. And when these things start happening, I can only assume that doesn't really help you, and it doesn't help this market, this sector get back on its feet.
That's right. Farmers, like any business, plan years in advance. You have to acquire land. Fencing is not cheap. We may rent land or buy land, but this happened to the American beef producer 8 months ago when the president got involved in a situation. And I don't seem to be understanding why we're attacking beef. Mm-hmm. Back to that again. I just don't understand why we're attacking beef, because beef is high, but people are not rejecting beef. Beef sales have not went down. People are still buying beef. They're choosing to buy beef. So it's not like, hey, beef's too high, nobody's eating beef, nobody's getting protein, we're all dying from malnourishment, from no protein, we got to get the beef fixed. That's not the case. So it's odd to me why we're attacking the beef producer.
Well, that was my next question. This is my tinfoil hat, Allison, which I'm trying to temper a little bit in my old age. But is this ultimately a push towards like lab grown meat and eating crickets?
Well, some countries, crickets are delicacy. I don't think they are in Alabama. But, maybe Alabama has banned that, so you can't buy it or produce it in gross. But I've been told some of the large beef packers have invested in alternative meat, protein, beef things. So that may be what they're trying to do, is get us hooked on that. But I don't think that'll grow very well in Alabama or the South.
Look, I'm glad it's banned here, because I think it doesn't, okay, I get Beyond Meat and that's beans. Okay. But crickets, you guys who are inventing this idea, you guys go first.
And Play-Doh patties, I'm not for
Come
that.
on. No, thank you. What are your last, I know we have to go in just a minute, but what are your last thoughts for us on this issue?
Well, I don't want to sound like I'm attacking the consumer here when I'm fighting for the farmer, but I'm kind of wearing two hats because we're farmers. We have 120 mama cows on our farm. We sell calves twice a year to the packers. So this affects me personally, and I know how it affects our friends. But also, I understand and respect the fact that we're trying to help consumers get prices down. But let's not attack one segment of the economy that's doing well. Let's attack everything and get prices down. And at the same time, let's help our Alabama farmers, give them confidence that they can expand and grow their farms so we can continue to eat Alabama-grown products.
And the best way to do that is to go to sweetgrownalabama.org and find a local farmer and support your local farmer, I'm guessing is what you would say. And that way we don't have to eat mystery meat from Argentina.
Yeah, that's a hard pass.
Yeah.
You can look that farmer in the eye when they hand you that package of meat and you hand them your dollars, and you know you're getting something from somebody you can go back to and look at the eye, and they certainly appreciate your business. I promise you.
And if they were selling you yucky stuff, they probably wouldn't be able to sleep at night because Alabama farmers are good people.
They are good people.
So you can trust them. All right, Corey Hill, thank you so much for being with us today. We appreciate it. Keep us posted. I'm curious. Yeah, now you've got me thinking of why beef, because I don't drink Coca-Cola, but my daughter does. And I went and she wanted a 12-pack of just good old Coca-Cola. It was $12.
What?
Yes, I about fell out.
No.
So, Corey, I'm with you from the grocery store side. I don't get it. I would go after a lot of other industries besides our farmers.
Yeah, that's right.
But anyway, thank you for being with us.
One thing I'm going to do is, since we have a store, I'm tracking the wholesale costs, our costs for 90 days. And I started last Friday, and I'm not going to tell you today what that is, but I'm anxious to see in 90 days if we did see a 25% reduction. I don't think we will see that. I've been wrong before.
Well, will you come back so we can talk about that?
Be glad to. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
That'd be great. Thank you. Have a great day. I know you're on the road. Enjoy your day around the state of Alabama.
Thank you very much.
Talk soon. Thank you.
What a good guy.
I love that he calls them mama cows.
I still want to go to his farm and pet the mama cows.
You think he names them? I feel like Corey and his wife are people that maybe they name a few of them.
Just a few, but probably mainly not. Because then you don't want to slaughter them. You don't want to kill Bessie. Do you?
Maybe Bertha, but not Bessie.
Or like Alice? I don't know.
Karen. Definitely.
But he knows what he's talking about, and it is refreshing. I know we've had great ag commissioners before, and I know he's the nominee, but to both be a farmer and have a grocery store, he understands what's going on. So go to Sweet Grown Alabama and also go buy some beef from Alabama today.
We'll be right back. Got a conundrum. Hey, that's another good word.
That's a great word.
Yeah. On our hands.
The coffee is kicking in the studio.
Starbucks. Maybe you can help solve it for us, which would be great. I appreciate. I wish you would have called me in 2021 and been like, Sinclair, we've got an issue on our hands. Had no idea, but I'm thankful for you and the legislators are talking about it. Before we let you go, real quickly, I know you can't pre-file bills because it's the start of a new quadrennium, blah, blah, blah. What else are you working on?
Oh, Allison, I got a lot. There's a lot. And, there.
Anything you can tell us about?
The list is long and I don't know really where to begin. And that's kind of given to policy and trying to make changes while I'm in the legislature, but I'd love to catch up with you offline and we can go through the list. And it's growing almost weekly, unfortunately, for me.
All right.
There's a lot to do.
We'd love to have that conversation.
That's fair. It's going to be a big surprise, like in February when.
Well, I'll tell you one that I had this past session that turned out biting candidates. And they kind of get, again, I don't want to sound like the martyr here, but I kind of got a attitude from my colleagues was the dark money bill.
Mm.
And, had it, filed it this past session, saw that we had a problem with being able to track where money was coming from. Then in some House races and Senate races in the legislature, this money pops up. It can't be traced. And, there was a lot of consternation, and there was a conundrum among those candidates. And I was like, hey, we could have fixed it back in the session, and certainly sympathetic to their plight. But I'd love to get that, refile that one and address it, because it's like whack-a-mole when it comes to campaign finance. You can close this loophole and whatever, and they'll discover another one in a year or two or three. But at the end of the day, the public has a right to know where the campaign dollars are coming from.
Yes.
And, that's one I'd like to see pass next session. And I'll be bringing it back.
There you go.
That's great.
Senator Arthur Orr, thank you so much for being with us. Keep us posted. I don't know if you're actively writing this new legislation. If you would like input, we're always here, and we always have an opinion, and we drink a lot of coffee, so we can give you good ones.
Yeah.
But
Good deal.
thank you for joining us so
Thank
much.
you.
Appreciate
All
it.
right.
Before we ask any questions, welcome, Senator. How are you today?
Good to be with you guys on a hot Thursday morning, and good to hear your voices.
Well, thank you for being here. It is unspeakably hot, but here's another issue that is also like on fire. It's so hot. But you did something that most of us weren't aware of. And that's in 2021, while most of us were thinking about COVID and trying to survive that, you were on top of an issue, this flock issue. I'm embarrassed to say I didn't know anything about it. You get used to the CCTV, just the cameras around, but you don't think about a whole nother element added to that. But you were on top of an issue, and we didn't know about it yet. You filed a bill, and it limited the time the government would have access to license plate reader data. Why did you file that bill? And what did you see?
Well, I see what people are now seeing today. And I hate to say I was prescient or something, but unfortunately back then, Amy Beth, the public was just, and my colleagues in the legislature had a very, they just weren't interested in the issue. And the issue back then was the usage of these flocking cameras, these digital plate readers, license plate readers that, were being spread around the state in various places. And a high part of it was for commercial purposes. In other words, they would have your license plate, and they would be able to market to you if you drove under one, and it could have a commercial purpose where you drive under one on the interstate, and it says, "Hey, Amy Beth, you got a Starbucks 2 miles ahead at the next exit. Pull on over." And the idea that they would be using government right away for commercial purposes was totally unacceptable. And then secondly, we get into the law enforcement area, which, you're sympathetic. I certainly am with law enforcement. We want to catch bad guys and gals, and we want to put them in prison. But there were no parameters or guardrails or restrictions. It was just, we're going to put these readers up, and, we don't, what we do with that information or where it goes, how long, who can access it, all that, trust us. And, I wasn't comfortable with that either. So anyway, long story short, when the legislation ran into a lot of,
Welcome back to The Right Side. I am Amy Beth Shaver with Allison Sinclair and JP. So go check out Sweet Grown Alabama if you haven't. Truly, not a joke. Homework for the day. Might we suggest you go check out Sweet Grown Alabama?
It's actually a great website. It gives you all the farmers markets around Alabama. You can type in and choose, like, if you're looking for pears or you're looking for locally grown made beef tallow products. It gives you recipes. And it will show you on the map all the farmers around that offer what you're looking for.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So check it out. Truly, that's one way. People are asking us constantly, what can we do to get involved? Start right here.
They even have a
Start in
recipe.
Alabama. Yeah, dinner is right there for you. Honey garlic pecan chicken.
That looks really good.
Doesn't that sound amazing?
Yep.
I bet Ella could whip that together right quick.
I just think about too the what was the farmers market that Katie Britt's barbecue was at?
Oh, yeah.
Sweet Creek.
Sweet Creek is incredible.
Yeah, I just think about, farmers markets like that could be right down the road from you.
Mhm.
And they have everything you need, and it's Alabama, local.
Also, chickens are walking around. I mean, why wouldn't you want to go to a
Yeah.
market like that?
They had those dinosaur ribs too.
Those were enormous.
Like, okay, does Argentina have dinosaurs to sell ribs of? I don't think so.
Don't think so.
I could be wrong.
I think they'd say no. I don't know. And Allison found out some quite disturbing information about the beef injected with something that's illegal in the US and in Europe, right?
Hold, please.
So, no, make sure you look at your label, whichever state. I don't know if all the states are getting the 300,000 pounds of beef. I have no idea. Read it, because the beef that they tried to get imported into China had some nasty things in it.
Can I read what it was?
Yes.
Okay. This is banned in the US and Russia and the EU and many other countries. It's called chloramphenicol.
It's a good thing that you were taught phonics. Not everybody could pull that off.
Chloramphenicol. It says if people eat meat, even containing microscopic traces of this drug, they risk developing some sort of anemia, a rare but fatal condition where the bone marrow stops producing blood cells.
That's comforting.
And you die. And this is what they found in China, as that Argentinian beef was being imported there. And so China rejected it. And now we about to get it healed.
And China doesn't even like their people. Like, if you're a communist country, you don't actually like your people, because you'll kill them. And let's not even talk about the organ harvesting markets over there. Let's not do that. So if China wouldn't let their beef in, and we're going, hey, bring it here.
Clip
Guys.
Does it work?
Mhm.
It does?
Clip that.
That sounds
Maybe you
very
need to say
threatening.
it. Maybe you need to say like, clip that.
Okay.
Well,
Those
try-
aren't fighting words.
Mm-mm. I mean, it's the AI. I could probably hack
The
into my
AIs. Oh, they're always listening. It's terrifying. All right. So 3 stories in the next few minutes before we get to the last bit of the day. Would you rather, or this or that? Either one. Numero uno, a story that will not die. The Flock CEO on Fox saying that we need to prioritize that. Oh, darling, he believes in privacy and safety, but that we need to prioritize and compromise.
Can we replay some
Yes.
of that?
That's a
So-
like yell at the TV kind of moment.
Yeah. This is the Flock Safety CEO.
Is he
I
12,
value
by the
my
way?
privacy. My family values their privacy. My employees value their privacy. But what we're talking about is safety as well. And so I think when people talk about just one of these, privacy or safety, they're prioritizing the wrong thing. And what we have to prioritize as a country is compromise. How do we have our safety, and how do we balance privacy?
Prioritize. Okay. Did you believe in prioritizing your privacy before you invented Flock? And who are you to suggest that we compromise our privacy? Because if something's truly safe, wouldn't you ward off the crime before it was committed? Then that's not really happening.
I just don't understand. Do you think, because based on Facebook and X comments, there are people that genuinely believe the type of things that he is saying. like, well, if you're not doing anything wrong, or I mean, we really could catch one extra bad guy, so it's worth it. Do you think he actually believes it? I mean, you can't really judge, but when I hear him talk, I hear a salesman that's convincing himself like he knows what he's doing is wrong.
Do you think that if they were to LPR, license plate read, his car, and he was heading, I am making this up. This is allegedly.
Oh gosh, abs.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Where's he going?
He's going to meet an extra girlfriend. Do you think that he would get that information erased so that his present girlfriend wouldn't find out about the extra girlfriend? He doesn't want his privacy invaded. He'd say that's none of your business. He wasn't doing anything wrong. He has an open arrangement. Allegedly, I'm making this up.
Allegedly.
See how that works?
He also has access to the entire database, so he can go in and delete it himself. It's very convenient.
So I don't want to hear it from somebody who can play God with the camera systems that the rest of us are going to have to live with. It's the same people who want to continually send our children into war. No, you guys go first.
Yeah. Benjamin Franklin will be rolling in his grave right now.
How about that quote from Benji?
Those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety.
Also,
dibbity.
I thought the same thing when I said that. Liberty nor safety.
Liberty.
But also the part where he goes, it's about compromise. Give up a little bit of liberty so we can catch the bad guys. When were any of us asked when the flock camera was put across the road?
Ooh.
Like when
What you said.
When were any of the people in the area of what was the Indian
Springs Village?
Yeah, when were they asked when 3 flock cameras were put into one intersection? So it's convenient to come on the back end and say just compromise a little. Like we weren't even asked in the first place for those to be put up. So if they're meant to protect us, then our opinions should matter. And no, this is a red line of fundamentally disagreeing on I will give up my liberty so I can be protected. Like that's actually inherently against what America was built on, because just look back at Benjamin Franklin's quote. So again, we can have a conversation about it, but it's mighty convenient to come in on the back end after they're already everywhere. Like, can't you guys just compromise a little? So we weren't even asked in the first place, And then I don't know if you want to talk about the conversation you had with the HOA. I think you did with Arthur Orr. I don't know. It's inherently anti-American to just compromise a little. But again, like we the people deserve to have a conversation about it if you're going to be surveilling us.
Yeah, indeed. Boy, I wish I had understood what was going on with the Patriot Act way back when we gave up just a little because it sounded good, when really we were giving away the whole farm. They just have done it incrementally. But now that so many people have found out about it, they're outraged, which is wonderful. This is the great thing about America, is when we decide to get behind something, things get done. But they were enjoying their safely secured voyeurism until, oops, how many cameras are across the country? And people are like, no.
That's a really good, because we've talked about the Patriot Act. And actually, so that was written by John Ashcroft when he was Attorney General. And I've actually met him. Super nice man. And I wish I had had the gumballs to ask him, like, was that really your intention? Because you wonder, it was right after 9/11 and everybody's so emotional. And so it's kind of like this flock CEO or our legislators or our sheriffs. Do they actually think they're doing the right thing and a good thing? It doesn't really matter. But I wonder, like John Ashcroft, I can't look at him and think that he knew what this was going to turn into. But that's the problem. You have people that are in positions to make these decisions that genuinely might have a good heart, like the Calera Sheriff Chief, Heitch, I think is his name. He really thinks it's a useful tool to catch criminals. But dang, you are opening yourself up like the Patriot Act. And now we have FISA 702 and a whole mess that came out of that. got to be so careful. So careful. And I just think that this is one of those issues that will be used against us.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for a lot of people, that's actually the plan. And then we have some useful idiots in the middle that are just being.
There's a lot of overlap between this and the data center. Like, we can talk about the usefulness of both. I think the part where we have a problem is we, the people, aren't even being offered a seat at the table to talk about it when it's in our communities and affects us.
And part of the reason why our leaders don't think they have to is because for part of the time we haven't been involved.
Yep.
Thank God COVID happened in that we woke up. And so that's great. But they've been able to get away with this because we're just, as I said at the beginning of the show, trying to live our lives, raise our families, work hard, keep our head down, mind our own business. And here we find not only are we minding our business, so is the government. So here we are, but we've got to keep the conversation going and we've got to keep the heat on, because even going back to John Ashcroft and writing the Patriot Act, surely there was somebody at the table who said, have we taken this to its logical conclusion? And see, the problem is when we speak out, even now, we have to worry about getting gaslit by people who have had their way. And we've got to be able to say, no, we're here now and we need to have this conversation. And you don't get to gaslight us because you've gotten your way for so long. We're back and you've woken up a sleeping giant. So now you're going to have to deal with it. And so that's what we're going to have to do, is just be prepared to get guilted into thinking we're idiots for being concerned about being surveilled. A cheerful discussion.
Yeah.
Would we like to move into another cheerful discussion?
Which one's that?
Do you pick the horrifying one or the less horrifying one? You going to pick horrifying?
Yeah, let's go with horrifying.
Can you imagine waking up from surgery and you're paralyzed because they gave you the wrong medicine? But then my question is, if they gave them the wrong medicine, does it mean that they can reverse it, or is this irreversible paralysis? That's the part I haven't heard. Does anybody know?
Pretty sure it's irreversible. I mean, this is what they accidentally gave these 4 patients, is what they give to people that are about to die from lethal injection. It's what they give them before. The potassium, whatever. I don't think it's very good.
Do you know anything else, JP?
I do not. I can look it up.
And then my first thought was, this is what DEI gets you.
Oh, Allison Sinclair. No, you did not.
Is that bad?
No.
You know you thought it too.
Yes, girl, I did.
Yeah, and that's what you talked about. I mean, I people can make mistakes. We're humans. But dang, that's a big one. And then if you don't have the proper precautions, like you should have to like type in a password if you're dealing with some of these drugs, and then it goes to 4 people.
Well, and think about this. I remember back when my mother-in-law was in the hospital several times in a row, this is a couple of years ago. I mean, they beep everything in, and you have to scan it and it goes in, and then you put it in, and then you have to scan it. I mean, like there's a lot of layers. So the idea that you're suggesting maybe somebody with not as much experience makes sense to me, because I watched what they had to do to just get her what she needed. I'm like, that is thorough. Peeling off labels, sticking them on,
and it
scanning,
probably was just
peeling.
an aspirin.
It was just an aspirin. It was just this or that. No big deal kind of things. We need to do a case study on this.
Or was this the classic, okay, this is just me. I'm just thinking, I don't know anything. But you're a white heterosexual male or female, so I'm going to give you the wrong drugs. that's what's terrifying too, is that there are nurses and doctors out there saying that I'm not going to treat this patient, or I'm going to do this, or put them in my room. And remember the one who said she was having, was it Caroline Levitt that she was saying as she came in and gave birth, and her that yeah. I mean, we got some crazy people out there. I don't know anything, but my head goes to really bad places when things like this happen, especially when it's for patients.
This is from WSMV4. They said the hospital said the changes below were also put in place to, quote, address medication risks and uphold the standards of safety for our patients and teams. One, isolated medication storage, high alert medications, including mepivexane.
It's okay. We don't know.
Mepivexane,
just say it like you're saying an Old Testament name.
Are stored in separate, distinctly marked locations to eliminate selection errors. 2, mandatory hard stop and escalation. Implement process to stop and resolve through independent verification for any spinal medication scan alert. And 3, independent dual verification. Spinal medicine workflows now require a second trained pharmacist to perform final visual and physical checks. After self-reporting, the hospital said it is also working with state and federal officials to, quote, ensure a safe environment for our patients.
Okay. No amount of money will ever be able to make up for that. But I hope the hospital settled and threw money at them. This is a horrific mistake to make.
And don't forget, Ascension is who owns UAB, and it was St. Vincent's, Ascension, now UAB purchased. So Ascension is here in Alabama as well. Just saying. Just saying.
This is all I can do right now. I am so sorry for the people who went through this. I really am.
And I should say, genuinely, if it was, say something was mislabeled, think if you're that nurse or that doctor, say you walked in and took what you thought. I mean, think about what they have to go through now too. If this was a genuine mistake, that is not easy to live with either. What was the other that was mildly?
Enes Kanter.
Yeah, read my mind. So he wore a t-shirt defining what a woman was, which would be a safe thing to do if you're at a Women's National Basketball Association game. And, well, there was a triggering incident. Hey, Caitlin Clark, could you and Sophie just go ahead and start your own league? It's lost. This is lost. Look at what happened. JP, could you narrate and provide some color for the situation?
Essentially, Enes Kanter went to the game wearing a woman definition shirt, adult human female. And I don't know if there was jarring back and forth, like if Enes was taunting her from the sidelines or what, but it ended up with an altercation between the Sky player and Enes. And one of the funniest, or not funny, but disappointing tweets I saw was from Robert Griffin, who was like, this is doing more harm to the females that Enes is claiming to protect. I'm like, wearing a t-shirt that says the definition of a woman is causing you harm. How about having to actually go up against a male? That's actually harm. You know, the total reverse of saying things people don't like, and especially when they're common sense things, like that's causing you harm. Like, get over yourself. But what Enes is doing is very brave and important, because he's making the WNBA face the complications and the repercussions of what they're saying, because their inability to define what a woman is opening the door to somebody like Enes Kanter to come in and play. Enes is essentially showing the extreme of what could happen with their inability to make a stand and protect their women. And whether that's bringing more attention to the matter, wearing a shirt at games, he's putting their feet to the fire, which is crucial and important. So I appreciate what he's doing. I just I can't fathom how wearing a shirt to a game and somebody like the Sky player who can't even have the composure to keep playing the game and ignore Enes from behind, courtside. I just can't fathom how that is doing more harm than allowing or opening the door to men coming in and endangering girls. Not just in the WNBA, but in all of women's basketball. Like, that's a false equivalency. Big time.
I think I think he was spot on this whole time, and I think he had a little misstep last night. I wish he had just sat there in the seat and let her look all crazy, yelling, pointing, and just sat there. But he responded, and just in my head, I wish. Then he got thrown out. I don't know. I kind of feel like he should have just taken it, been confident. It's kind of like when you're in a debate, when you start yelling and calling people names and throwing your hands around, you're starting to lose. And I wish he would have just sat there and just smiled and taken it. Because now if you go and I don't know if he actually makes it to the draft, but they could use the excuse, well, he's already, he's made threatening gestures towards the girls. So we know he's not really, he's just trying to prove his point. Come at me, bruh.
So I also, though, have two things. One, last week they made the mother-daughter cover up their T-shirts from Jennifer Say's organization. What was it? The XXXY T-shirts in overtime. So it looks like the league's looking for this, and I think he gave it to them, but I didn't see the whole incident. What I did see, though, is the player reacting. And it seems like she reacted as if she had either a trans member of her family. Like, she acted so emotionally about it that it made me think, for the ones who are responding that way, do you know somebody who is in the delusion right now? Like, that's what it also made me wonder about is she didn't, I agree. Just sit there in your shirt. Just you being a giant human. Everybody knows who you are. I get it. I really appreciate the T-shirt. But then her acting out and acting a fool and just screaming at him like that made me wonder who she connected to, who's also a part of this. She acted like a family member, but I don't know. I have no idea. I think the league is lost. And I think Caitlin and Sophie need to start their own league because coaches can't even defend their best players anymore. So what are we doing here? Like Steve Day says all the time, like, what are we doing?
So good. Yeah. I don't know. I say keep going. I hope more people join him. Isn't he running for office? He's running for Senate or something.
Royce is.
Yeah.
Oh, Royce is. That's
Royce
right.
White. Don't dead name him.
Yeah. Where is Royce? I haven't heard from her.
Oh, Royce did an
lately.
interview this weekend. It's hysterical.
Really?
With Dr. Drew.
I bet that's really good.
We need to find that
Okay.
and play it tomorrow.
Royce.
It's hysterical.
Okay.
He does a really
Royce.
good.
And he's running for Senate?
Yes.
I hope she wins. It wins. They win.
He may be too big to have on our show, but
Zer.
maybe we could ask Royce.
Royce. I would request the wig.
Please.
Yes. Have to have the wig.
When you circle who you want on, Royce, obviously.
I mean, he said now they're getting confused. Or is it Ennis that identifies as a woman just when he plays basketball?
Oh, probably Ennis.
So he ran for Senate and he lost in the August 11th primary to Michelle Tafoya.
Oh, I love Michelle
okay.
Tafoya. She's my spirit animal.
Yeah, she's a good one.
So what's that? Minnesota?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'm for Michelle. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Royce. Love you, but I was for Michelle from the jump. I absolutely love her. She was my sports person when I was going through college. So
you should have been Michelle.
I loved her.
With the soft smile. Going to Amy Beth on the sideline. Look, she did it perfect.
I'm right here on the sidelines with the Steelers head coach, Mike Tomlin. Oh, oops, you got fired because you couldn't win. However, Mike, how are things going now? Does your wife still have the store in downtown Pittsburgh, that great clothing store? We'll miss you. What do you think about Aaron Rodgers?
Their family now.
Is he going to like do anything for us? Like, what's the situation? No, you've got nothing to say there. All right, moving on. That's all I got.
I heard, did Bama choose their quarterback?
They did, and I am so excited. That's the guy I wanted.
But top rated
Yes.
recruit they've ever had.
Yes, he was DeBoer's. He was in DeBoer's first recruiting class, and he's the top rated recruit Bama's ever had. Saban ever had. So I'm just saying, Bama might be back. They hate us because of the anus.
This is your anus. Big fat anuses over there.
Hey, they can have their perfect team picture all they want. I don't think Amy Beth was here when we talked about
Give us something.
What perfect team picture?
There was a whole debate on Twitter because Auburn's team picture looked like perfect and Alabama's looked sloppy.
Oh wait, can you give me a
It's pretty
contrast?
good, actually.
Yeah. I'll
Well, considering we now know that Golish makes them wear the same underwear on certain days, then that makes sense.
What?
Yeah.
Like the same.
Like they have uniforms every day down to what underwear they wear, which I would be kind of ticked off about that.
No.
I feel like that's a really personal thing.
Very personal. Unless he's running a military style program and he was able to get hired because he told the Auburn Board of Trustees, listen, I'm military first. I'm going to whip these boys into shape. And they said, do it.
But
we're
what
tired
if you're
of
not
being
a tidy
embarrassed.
whiteier?
Oh, that's perfect.
So this is Auburn's team.
War
picture,
Eagle.
And this is Alabama's.
There was not a woman involved in that picture.
It's not bad. It just needs
It's off center. Like, guys, no. There was no woman. Yeah. Woman arranged. Scooch. Dude arranged.
And I'm pretty sure, go back, I think Auburn's kind of looks like an eagle. Or Shrek.
You know what? I am for underwear on the same day of the week versus Roll Tide. I got to say that because my husband Roll Tide.
Yeah, but I don't think
JP, that they look beleaguered.
Yeah, but let me pull up
They look like the Bad News Bears.
Let me pull up a Saban team picture here and we'll see how.
Oh, Saban had his looking lickety split, clickety clack. I'm going to get you, sucker.
Clickety clack moo. Did you read that book to your kids?
Yes. Although Chris mainly read books because by that time I was really
moo.
tired and grumpy. I put the baby in bed.
Okay, see.
Put the baby into bed.
Here, I'm about to pull up a picture. This is one of Saban's team pictures. It doesn't look that clean.
It looks cleaner.
Does
The right side looks better.
I mean, this is the woman arranged that side, and by then they were bored.
Yeah, no, they needed us abs. We should volunteer.
He should kind of scooch in. Wow, that hurts my feelings. My sensibilities are off.
Yeah, I'm not digging this. And it looks like the helmets look like his shoes. Like he's got little legs.
But Roll Tide. Roll Tide. RTR, baby. RTR.
Gosh.
Look, who cares? Football's back. Football's back.
Yeah, this
Let's go.
upcoming weekend's the first game.
It's back.
Let's go.
Do we have any would you rathers?
Would you rather get married in Disney World or Las Vegas?
Oh, gosh.
Stay single.
Elope. Elope.
Really? I guess Vegas. Just put me in the Bellagio.
Disney Grand Floridian. I'd ship that.
I'd go Disney World.
There's all trannies there.
Yeah, but this is Pretendlandia.
Yeah.
I'd do Vegas, but I'd really like the Grand Floridian. It's magical.
Vegas just feels gross.
I'm taking strippers over trannies.
An Elvis impersonator.
Yes.
I'll just take Shoot Me.
Yeah.
And then for your honeymoon or your reception, just go and get big turkey legs for all your guests.
No.
That's fun. Go to Frontierland.
That would be fun. Give everybody at Disney a gift card and just go run around Epcot.
That'd be fun.
That would be fun.
Here's some chips. Go gamble your life away.
About that.
I'm going to just refrain from what was about to come out of my mouth.
Okay, tomorrow, I can't even remember. Who do we have, abs?
Jonathan Barbie, and we have Dr. Douglas Frank. It's going to be a gripping show tomorrow.
Tidy Whitey's gripping on the right side tomorrow. We'll see y'all then.